supposed to take the makers off the table, but it's too late now. Might as well take a sip.
I did not see that coming.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's the lore. It's the mystique of it all.
We're still doing it. We haven't been cut off yet.
Oh, shit. Good job, buddy. Nice job, Daniel. Good job, man. Keep that rod bent. Keep that rod bent.
I mean, people used to get so scared of them, they had to shoot them.
Yeah, that's true.
But because you literally can't stop thinking about it. You know, you can't scratch the itch enough. Oh, Josh.
Hello, Daniel.
What's up, fella? It's raining. We got water coming.
Yay. Thank goodness. We needed it really badly around here.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy spring. That's for sure.
Yes.
Early. Wingrove already has muskies at the dam.
I can't believe that. And we saw mosquitoes in the warehouse yesterday.
Mosquitoes in the warehouse, muskies at the dam. That's the report.
And it's officially mid-March.
Mid-March.
Yeah, I think we're probably 3 to 5 weeks ahead of schedule on all fronts.
Could shape up to be pretty good. Makes you excited.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, how's everybody doing? We're back. You got your co-hosts, Josh and Dan, with another episode. I believe our 20th episode, the big 2-0.
All right.
Nice. Congrats. Round of applause, everybody.
Almost old enough to drink.
Almost. I'm ready. I got bubbler and water. When we graduate to 21, we told ourselves we could have some whiskey. But yeah, we are going to dive in a little bit today on the podcast, or the trade shows. We're on the podcast. We're going to dive in on some of the trade shows, the Tyers Rendezvous, talk a little bit about the season. We got a few things to cover today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I know. We're back in the saddle. So first and foremost, let's talk about the shows a little bit.
Chicago.
Started it off with Chicago and then went to Milwaukee. So we did the Muskie Expo in Chicago, Milwaukee.
Always a lot of fun. It's so fun to get out into the wild a little bit and kind of engage with all the customers, see some friendly faces, see new people, hear about what they're liking about their new products they've gotten from Muskie Full and things that they're looking forward to for the season. So it's always a good time.
Yeah, we've for sure had some people start to really come back year over year. I think we've seen them 3 times, the first, second, and third.
Yep.
So that's cool because you get to really know people. No weather interruptions. It was pretty smooth sailing. It felt like we had done this before, just getting everything down there, and it was running pretty lean. You, me, and Nick were most of the team. Gabe came and helped in Chicago.
Yep.
That made for a fun weekend when Gabe was down there Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fairly PG-13.
Fairly.
We'll keep it that.
We didn't stay in an Airbnb, which might be our problem, as we'll get to. And then Milwaukee was, again, no weather issues. We got a little fishing in before Milwaukee. That was fun. We got our homework done so we could go play.
Oh, that was a blast. It all came together. We went out onto some of the rivers down there that everybody probably knows about, but we finally were finally able to hook into some really nice brown trout and lost some really big brown trout. It was just an absolute blast. River was nice and plump, flowing strong, and it was a great morning. Had some wader leaking issues, but other than that, we had a good time.
Yeah, a little cold, but not too terrible.
Yep.
And then we got back in time barely. We barely got back in time at about 1:50. There were people in our booth ready to check out, and we needed to get the register turned on.
Yep.
So came in a little hot there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What else? What else was about the shows? It feels like ages ago now. January, February.
Yep.
Overall, really good shows. Good. Overall, seemed like decent turnout. I can't really think of anything super out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we had a similar setup to last year, and at this point, we have a pretty well-oiled machine getting that thing packed up and ready to go, and we had all of our inventory dialed from the previous year. We knew what people liked, and that was the interesting thing, too, is the Chicago show and the Milwaukee show, the demographics are
very different.
Almost completely different.
Yep.
Like Chicago, everyone likes a certain genre of gear and inventory, and then it flip-flops for Milwaukee. So,
and we didn't get trade show bingo at either one.
No, we did not. Which we tried really hard.
We tried hard. We did. No, you're totally right about that. And that you see different people, and then different stuff sells.
Yep.
You're having different conversations. Yeah.
Yep. The one thing that I think is always fun is now that we've been doing this for several years and we're starting to establish the guide program, you see folks that have gone out on musky full guide trips and they come into the booth and they talk about that, and maybe they're booking a trip for the next year, or they talked about specific gear they used on that trip, and then we have specials going on during the show or something, and they end up walking away with a pretty sweet combo or flies that they really enjoyed fishing during their trip.
Yep. It was also kind of the unveiling of the pretty sweet artwork that you did for the T-shirts.
Yes.
And the hats. Those were all that new stuff. It was the first time at the trade show.
Yeah.
It was a hit.
Whole new apparel line.
Yeah.
And it went over very well.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit nerve-wracking when you're putting yourself out there with new designs and you just don't really know if the public's going to enjoy them. But for the most part, we sold a ton of those T-shirts and hoodies.
And different ones, again, at different shows.
Yep.
We sold out of the Louis Spray one in the Milwaukee show.
Yeah.
That one, I don't think, not a hit in Chicago.
No. And if you're watching this episode on YouTube, Dan's actually wearing one of the new sweatshirts. That's the psychedelic muskie design. That was a smashing success, I would say.
Humbly speaking, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fun. And then Milwaukee, we also had a couple changes. We got an Airbnb because the hotels were booked, and the hotel situation isn't super great over there.
No.
And it was a lot of fun. Sometimes too much fun.
Yes. The Airbnb was right on the lake. We had a beautiful view. There was just the most quaint little adorable supper club that you've ever been in. It almost looked like a clubhouse. The ceilings were really low. The staff.
Stone Creek. Was that it?
Highly recommend going there if you're in the West Bend area. Oh my gosh.
We made reservations every night.
Yeah. And the service was fantastic. Your drink never got below half full. They were just on top of it.
She wouldn't take my drink until I finished it like 3 times. She's like, nope.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a hoot.
Yeah, but the Airbnb, we did let her rip a little bit.
Not specifically at the Airbnb. Yeah, it was more the exhaust of our previous activities at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is always good. You got to get one of those in during trade show season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
get your nothing ripe for the season ahead.
I might be jumping ahead just a little bit, but we haven't had the best track record with our Airbnbs this year so far. Every morning when we're checking out, we're wondering, are we going to get our deposit back or not?
Yeah, we don't know if we can use Airbnb products for the rest of the season. It might be too much for this group. We haven't graduated to it. Oh, yeah, but the trade shows were fun. We're not sure where we're going to be next year. We're in that phase right now, planning on where we want to go, what shows. We've done those shows for 3 years now, so I think we'd love to hear from y'all. Where do you want to see us? I know there's a lot of listeners, a lot of Muskie Fools, Pennsylvania, all the way to Colorado and Washington, and more. So give us some shouts. We are in the planning stages. We are open to ideas, and I think we have a few of our own. So we're excited to hear from you guys.
Yes, sir. Let us know what you think, y'all.
Oh, we didn't talk about bucktail beavers.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Really quickly.
Yep, go for it.
So they're all gone, so this is not a sales pitch. Brian may or may not be doing more of them. That'll be TBD. But we basically, Brian from Beaver Baits used to make beavers out of the original beavers, were him spinning bucktail, similar to how we do it on our flies. But bucktail became really hard to get, and a lot of people wanted beavers, and he invented a different way to do it. But he did some limited edition beavers this year, able to get your hands on them at one of the Muskie shows. And it was all with MF bucktail. So he hand-selected lots of tails, lots of sweet colors, lavenders, and he's really good at blending them and making them look pretty fishy. And I think he said that there were people at the door sprinting, lined up at 6 a.m. at the door and sprinting when they opened the door at 9 to get to the booth, and they sold out all 30 and all 75 in 30 minutes.
Holy cow, yeah. Like a Black Friday morning at Best Buy.
He was pretty happy about that. So
Japers.
Big shout out to Brian. Thanks for checking us out, getting our bucktail.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Rendezvous.
So
our third, the triumvirate of the trade show season, effectively for us was the Fly Tyers Rendezvous, and tell us a little bit about what we were doing there, Josh.
Well,
it's your harebrained child.
The Rendezvous was a blast. We had to sit out for the Kentucky tournament, unfortunately, to execute the Rendezvous. But yeah, the third year now in a row that we've hosted this Fly Tyers Rendezvous, and it seems to be getting bigger and better every year. It's starting to gain momentum. I think the first couple years we had some wonky stuff going on. We had roughly 35 to 40 participants, but this year we had over 90. I think at the peak of the event, it's 8 hours long. There's various things throughout the day. So, the check-in starts everything off. Everyone kind of is arriving. They're all nervous, trying to get their spots, meeting everybody. But then from there, we go straight into an open tying session for about 3 hours, and everyone can get some pizza and beer and beverages and whatnot and just kind of mingle, walk around, see what everyone's doing. And after that, we went into the Nightmare Musky Fly tying competition, which was fantastic. NMF donated all the supplies for that this year, and we limited it to 25 participants, and they had 1 hour to tie their best bug, whatever was in the bag. They all had identical bags and materials, and there were some really cool flies that came out of that. And we had some three esteemed judges. One of them was Gunnar Brammer, and then one of them was Dylan.
We had four. Yeah.
Okay.
Dylan. So Gunnar was there. Dylan from Stream Stalker Flies and Dark Water Fly Shop up in the UP, and then Lance from Root River Fly Shop in southeast Minnesota, and then our very own Nick Gellerstad.
That's right.
We had 25 entries. Nightmare Musky Fly supplied all the materials. It was pretty good, yeah. And big congrats to the winners. We had some awesome flies tied. We'll post those right around when this episode drops.
Yep.
But we gave first, second, and third place prize, and it was pretty unanimous on first place on what those guys all wanted to fish and which one caught their eye as the fishiest bug. So it was pretty sweet. It was there's some crazy stuff going on. We had a guy bust out a dubbing brush table and make a brush in his allotted time. We had some people that were not able to finish in their allotted time. Specifically, we won't name him. We won't name him again.
No,
we already shamed him.
He knows who he is.
He knows who he is. The winner of the worst fly award at the 2024 Fly Tyers Rendezvous.
Oh, he graciously accepted that award, though.
He did say out loud prior to that, I would get last if there was an award. He was willing to accept that. He thought it was a deserved prize.
The creativity factor, though, was outstanding. The obvious choice is you are going to use the NMF materials, but to see people using the staples that the bag was closed with, the bag itself, the Nightmare Musky Fly stickers as part of the popper head,
tab eyes. Somebody made tab eyes so they could tie them in as a shrimp. Sweet. Really some people used all the materials in the bag. Some people were like, "What is this crazy stuff?"
Yep.
Clearly, a few top water flies. We had some foam cylinders and cubes and stuff in there, so that was popular. I think the third place fly was top water, third and second.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a success the previous year too, so we brought it back for this year as well.
Yep.
And then after that, we went into Gunnar Brammer's presentation. We had him come down from Duluth. He was our keynote speaker, so to speak. And he put on a fantastic presentation covering a lot of casting technicalities, all the technical aspects of fly rods, lines, and everything like that. So it was fun to hear him speak as well.
Very informative, for sure. We appreciate you coming down, Gunnar. Everybody that came down to check that out.
Yep. And then we gave away some sweet door prizes, but something we did new this year was we did a raffle. And
freebies and a raffle.
We did freebies and a raffle. So everyone pretty much walked away with a free door prize, if not multiple door prizes. And then the raffle had, what did we do? 2 prizes or 1 prize for that?
It was one big kind of prize like one prize pack. Included a Renzetti Vice, a Traveler.
One big prize pack, and we raised...
a bunch of other cool stuff.
The raffle was going towards the Cap City's Muskies Inc. chapter, and we raised...
First Wisconsin.
Sorry.
Yeah,
First
the one up
Wisconsin,
by you guys.
Yeah, First Wisconsin chapter. I can't think today for some reason.
It's early in the morning, folks. We normally record these later.
Yeah.
We got a bright and squirrely start to the podcast day today.
The First Wisconsin chapter, and we raised $473 for that chapter.
Yeah.
Which equates to about 20 musky fingerlings if you're doing the math.
Yeah, just a fly tying event.
Yep.
Which is pretty sweet. And I think we, just with the prizes too, we tried to... Really, one of the premises this year was like, can we get a speaker, a seminar? Can we have a free event where everybody gets something for free as well? Like it's something they take away. And I think most people, you should have at least got some free flies from Rio Flies. You should have got some free materials from MFC. There's a whole table, hundreds and hundreds of items.
Yep.
So hopefully that was sweet. And then we did a little raffle, right? But it was great. The sponsors made the event for sure, including Lucette. Yes. Because the space, was donated as their sponsorship. So and the space is really sweet. The pizza's awesome. The beer's great. The service was great. And then, our sponsors, which I guess we probably do need to thank again because it was really incredible how they all came out. Montana Fly Co. donated a ton of stuff. Boat boxes, free materials for everybody. Rio Flies donated a ton of the Gunner's patterns, seasoned geezers, and all that stuff. Hairline, Flymen, Loon Outdoors, Whiting Farm, Sims. We got donations from just about everybody. Winston. So big shout out to them.
Foxtail
Custom Rods made the sweetest, one of a kind rod for the Rendezvous. And who did that go to?
Yeah, that was such a sweet rod. A 2-piece, 8-weight, 9-foot custom rod. It even had the Fly Tyers Rendezvous logo right on the shaft there.
And the bumblebee paint job to match the Fly Tyer Rendezvous color scheme.
Yes, the very talented John Stevens of Foxtail Customs. Big shout out to him. He donated that rod. That went to a feller that came in all the way from Denver, Colorado for the event. So that's about a 14, 15-hour drive. If you're to do it that way, he may have flown.
He did fly,
but still... very commendable. We had some folks come in from Kansas City, Vance and his wife.
Yep.
And then we also had
folks. And the prize is given to the furthest traveled. That's why he won it.
Yes.
Yeah, so we always have a prize for the furthest traveled attendee.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And then, folks coming 4 or 5 hour drives. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, we got folks from everywhere. North, south, east, west.
Hardly anyone from the actual town of Menominee.
That's to be expected, but there's lots of local folks. I mean, local to the Eau Claire Fly Tying Club, which is like definitely a contingent there. But yeah.
So it's just cool to see an event like that in Western Wisconsin, bringing in so many folks from different areas
for just fly tying.
Yep.
That was the whole purpose from the beginning to the end, for sure.
And then moving forward, we have some ideas on how we might want to enhance and improve the event. But we would love to hear from you guys. So please give us a shout in the future. If you have any ideas, things you think could be improved upon, things you'd like to see at the event, we'd absolutely love to hear from you. Same with the expos.
Yeah, we definitely want to keep doing it. And I think we want to keep making it what everybody wants to be a part of. So where, how, when, anything's on the table again.
Yes, sir.
This is the time to get the feedback in for sure. What else do we see? What else do we want to talk about there? Yeah, that was pretty much it. Stayed out of trouble, Joshua, barely, by the skin of our teeth.
Just barely.
Yeah. So, now that that's over, trade shows are behind us. Fishing season picked up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that, back to what we started with, that has been an unusual spring, folks. We've had a really weird weather pattern, but it's gotten us going early and getting us excited for musky season for sure. So I think, we want to just talk a little bit about what's been going on. What have we been up to? What are some of the opportunities in spring, especially this spring, given the water, and what's been working? And then getting excited for 2024 musky season, which is not far away at all. By the time this podcast comes out, probably about a month. So pretty sweet. It's almost here. The Shack Nasties will be away soon.
Yes. This has been one of the first years in a long time where I've fallen back in love with trout fishing.
Well. Nicely done.
It's coming full
circle. Long lost love.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this warm winter. It feels like we went straight from December to March. But it's been fantastic. Just exploring new water, taking advantage of some of these resources that we have at the shop and like the Trout Routes app and things like that, just to find new places to fish and just check out the drift list and get lost and having very successful trips. I think that's been a lot of fun too. They've been, man, these trout have just been smoking streamers lately too, which any muskie and bass guy is going to absolutely love too. Yes.
But it's been a little bit more complicated than that. They're not just reckless abandon out there. I think you gotta be sneaky.
Yes. You gotta pick your battles.
Yeah.
So you're either meat hunting or you're gonna go more of a traditional approach, probably.
But it's been, I mean, back to what we were saying earlier, mosquitoes in March. I was out with Lucy and Jen, which was pretty sweet. First time we were out, and we saw caddis. And then there's a couple folks in the shop. There's stones out there. There's like, it's very weird on the bug front, and that's kind of just, you got to take what you get.
Yep.
Low water, still pretty clear, but they're hungry. The weather is nice. The water temps are nice. They're happy. They're not in harm's way.
No.
Yeah, especially as you like to say, before the meat hunters really come out.
Yeah.
In May and start, catch and release only. Might as well take advantage of it.
Exactly. Yeah. I love this part of the year. You just exclusively have the whole place to yourself. It's great.
That's the other thing is people are busy, it seems like, with something else.
Yep.
Not fishing as much. It's not like their normal season.
Yep.
They're whining about not being able to ice fish or something. Have you done anything else other than driftless trout? Well, we did the brown trout, the lake run day, but you haven't done any warm water stuff?
Nothing besides warm water. Normally this time of year, I have the jet boat out on the rivers and I'm running around chasing pike. But yeah, I've just had so much fun with trout and the simplicity of it. I just grab my gear and my waders and hit the streams and go exploring. I don't have to deal with boat issues and all that stuff. But I think within the next 2 weeks, the boat's going to come back out here.
It's kind of that time you have to. I mean, I have to drop mine off on Monday. I think that's a big part of preparing for the 2020. Any season is like, you got to get all your shit back together.
Yeah.
Clean out all your mistakes from last year.
It's always like such a shock to the system because at the end of the previous year, you had your whole setup dialed and, your casting arm was in great shape. All of your knot tying was perfect. And now you're just like 3 months of not really doing it on a weekly basis. You got to knock the rust off and get back into the routine and find yourself again, find your rhythm.
Well, and you have to actually do some practical things too. You have to put some new line on. You have to do that. I mean, especially if it's been sitting.
Yep.
It usually wasn't a fresh setup by the time you got to the end of the last season. So
no,
it's definitely hasn't got any newer now. Just sitting in the garage.
It's always fun to find the leftover treasures in your boat you neglected to clean out the previous year.
Yes, that's pretty regular occurrence. I had to do that after trout fishing the other day. I was just like, I got some jig thin mints from the shop, and I could not find them in my one box that I brought. And I was like, and I went back home, and I just had way too much of a shit mess of streamer. It was really a streamer mess from trout bugs to smallie bugs to musky bugs. Still not fully cleared up, but my trout bugs are at least, I know what I got.
Good.
It's too many. It's way too many. But yeah, that's like the projects that I usually have to go through right now. It's like, fuck, all this shit is a mess. What rods are broken, need to be fixed? What lines are garbage?
Yeah.
What flies did I lose? What flies are getting culled? There's always a little herd culling.
Rods don't magically fix themselves in the off season.
Sure don't.
You think they would, but they're there for you, broken as always, and come spring.
I wish there's like a little elf on the shelf that would just show up and collect all your fucking shit. And we'll bring it back to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Dan? Have you been doing any other types of fishing?
Nope. Few days trout fishing. I got 1 day to myself, and then 2 days with Jen and Lucy. The 1 day by myself, I hit some good fishing. It was sweet. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Kind of had what you were saying. Like you just like, oh, rekindled. Like, oh, I should do this a lot more. This is sweet.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into some stuff that's like, it's a little bit harder to get them. And then you do all the things perfectly and it works. And, you make the decision.
Yeah.
I think that's what I enjoy the most about it compared to musky fishing is like musky fishing, you're rewarded for sticking to it and not changing and just being like almost just totally rebellious in that way and just like arrogant. And you're like, not arrogant, but like, I'm not changing. I know this works. Stubborn. Thank you. Nothing else is going to work better. In trout fishing, you are not rewarded for being stubborn whatsoever.
No.
Change. Bingo, got him.
Yeah.
And now we're, and like from every variable, it's fun to play with that. And then you can get to like, ooh, if that works, does this work? Can I do this? If this isn't working, you're just like navigating this like maze. For musky fishing, it's like the opposite.
Yeah. You put your head down and you do what you're told.
You work. Yeah. You figure out the fish, but you're not like going, you're not just flipping through it. So yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to getting out a few more times, especially post rain. What else on musky season? What else are you doing to get ready? What else are you thinking about for this season?
Oh, I got to get all my rods repaired.
All of them?
Pretty.
All of them?
Yes, all of my Chippewa River rods. They go back to their yearly trip up to Tom's place.
Maintenance.
And then he fixes especially the lowest ferrules, because I'm one of those guys that loves to do the two-handed burn, and you inevitably rip them off, or you start cracking all that epoxy and whatnot. So, yeah, I got to run up there.
Well, just based on your life experience, you should probably just have a ferrule check annually.
Yes.
It's like a colonoscopy.
Oh, that's ingrained in my head. Yeah. If you haven't heard that story, go back and listen to one of the first episodes.
Yeah.
Told the story.
We'll put it in the link to the episode here. But yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
You got to get your guide. Check your guides. This is a great time of year to check your guides.
Yep. I'm reflecting on my failures of last year and figuring out how I can do better this year. And what I want to change up. I've been eyeing up some new rivers. I said this last year too. Like, I was going to get out of my comfort zone and check out new rivers. And I did some of that.
We did a little bit. We definitely did a big out of our comfort zone trip. And we're rewarded handsomely for that. But
so I'm just going to keep that gravy train
rolling.
Yep. Start scouting right now. Check out boat launches on a crappy day.
Yeah.
And, get some stuff dialed in.
Do some weird shit you haven't done before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially on the local spots. Well, and we have some trips planned, I think. So we referenced earlier, we're looking at the calendar for the year because it fills up quickly.
Yep. We're going to do a spring musky trip here that we're very excited about.
Not in Wisconsin.
Those
were the parameters.
New water for all of us.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
We don't really know where we're going yet. We got some options. We'd love to hear from folks on good bites that they'd love to, see us in April. Probably looking like April moon, mid-April. Love to be post-spawn. We definitely have some ideas. We just haven't decided yet on how committed we are to each of them.
Yep.
So that'll be fun.
How about you, Dan? What are you doing right now to get ready for the season?
Well, I got to get my boat in. I got those fold-down seats are not really meant for a 250-pound man to be standing on top of, stomping and having a tantrum because the muskies won't bite. So they just get the screws on the backs of them.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been flying off on the road, so need to get those screwed in.
Oh, you hate to see that.
I don't even need those seats, really. You wish it was just all a hard deck instead of the flip-up. But got to get that looked at, fixed, warranted, whatever. Rods are pretty good. I hopefully my rods are not broken. I'll do some guide checking. My line situation is a little bit of a rat's nest. That'll come after I clean out my flies. I think that's next. Just going through fly boxes. Like I said earlier, culling the herd. Shit, you just you're not going to, it's like, no, that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make that burn pile.
A little bit, yeah. It gets bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But hopefully, and then fill in the holes, right? But that's then I can afford to put a new one in.
Yep.
Otherwise, there's no room. And I definitely think I got some ideas on fly color that I want to almost rule out some things. I'm definitely of the belief and proponent that color is the least important. but I think it doesn't take it out of the equation. And I kind of want to play with sticking to a color. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. I kind of did the white, black, and now it's we're going to see what happens there. I don't know where I'm going to land, but
Okay.
because I don't think it matters, but I think it'll be interesting. Like, prove it is kind of what I tell myself.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know what color it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what colors you're going to go with here. Yeah. Probably a lot of bright blues.
It could be that. I think that'll be tough to like fish hard into all sorts of spots, you know, where you're just like, what the hell am I doing up here on a river where they're biting things that just don't look like a blue fucking hunk of... Yeah. But maybe they will, and then we'll just be like, it doesn't matter. Blue.
I hate blue for some reason.
Yeah, we were talking about red.
We're talking about red.
Yeah, Nick's got a pretty sweet fly that we're about to drop. Another little mini glider video.
Yes.
Might be out by the time this podcast launches.
We can
something
only hope.
He did it all red, and it was like, you don't see a lot of that.
No,
and either do the Muskies.
Didn't someone at some point say there was a study conducted about the color spectrum?
Well, that's what we were talking about when we were talking about the color for the fly he was about to tie.
Yeah. So, and that's
like red and pink.
Why he selected it.
Mm-hmm. So if that matters.
It makes sense. And they just cannot see blue, so don't even waste your time.
Yeah, it did blend. It's basically white. That's probably why blue works. People are like, oh, it's this crazy blue, and it's just white.
I'm just kidding. If you like blue,
go blue.
Keep tying with blue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what else? Flies and lines. That's where I ran into issues last year, but we're excited because there's a couple new ones, specifically a big water, big fly line coming out. Can't say really much more than that. That I think is gonna be the final piece to the puzzle. Is a super cliche, overrated way of thinking about it, but in some ways, like, I feel like that you'll have a warm water, warm temperature, more salt wall grade, heavy water line for the summer months. Mm-hmm. You'll have the cold water that doesn't get coily and stuff in the colder months, and then you'll have that all the way down to effectively 8 weights and pretty much everything intermediate, sink. You know, we still don't have like big, huge 700 or 800 grain intermediates, but we're pretty much there. And for the most part, with those huge, heavy flies that you want an 800 grain for, or 750 or 700, you need help getting them down.
Yeah,
they float like a topwater fly. Yeah, so that's like the most. I feel good about that. All the gear is like, it's a little bit. Line was definitely the most annoying equation last year. Trying to think what else. Electronics, all good. No changes. Might get rid of some. We'll talk about that. Plug for maybe a future episode.
Oh, yeah.
Not a thrilled user of Mega Live or Live Scope. We'll see if my raft makes it through another season. That'll be interesting.
That's always the gamble.
Yeah. Put it away after Keys and haven't really looked at it. Still got a slow leak. That's been the 3rd season in a row. Haven't been able to find it. Have literally looked high and low every single spring.
Really?
Even brought it back. Haven't been able to find it. Yep. So, yeah.
Magically it leaks air.
I know.
See, the good thing with my raft is I know exactly where all of the big leaks are. And now I just have to
them, or you
take
just have
some
to,
time and fix them.
Yeah, I'm still looking, man. We've done all the tricks. We've tightened the valves. We've redone it all. Yeah, no. We talked a little bit. Well, I guess, let's see. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the calendar. I think that's always exciting right now. It feels like one of the ways to actually feel like you're getting closer to fishing. It's like looking at where you're going to go. Especially with how busy we've been at the shop and working, we got to plan some few trips. Like if we're going to plan them, we need to put dates on the calendar, pick them out, think through the logistics. How many can we bite off? Who can make it? Who can't make it? So we've had to do a little bit of that, especially with, if you are listening to this, you won't see Gabriel at the shop for a little bit because hopefully him and his wife are out having their wonderful first child, which is sweet. He's been, by the way, sidetrack.
Oh,
He's been
Gabriel.
what a little savage. He's just the farther that, or the closer he gets to having a baby, he's just, the fishing for him has been getting better and better and better in driftless. Yeah, I mean, he just was giddy the other day, like 21, 19, bunch of others, 16s. He was a happy camper. He said it was the best driftless trout day he's ever had. All right, little technical difficulty, but we are back.
Thanks for sticking with us, folks. Where were we? We were talking about the calendar.
Oh, yeah. Where are we fishing this year?
That's always the question at hand.
Yep. So we got the spring trip, little musky April hunt out of Wisconsin. Then for sure on the calendar, Treelands. I know there's not many spots left, so
sign up.
There were very few, maybe less than 20 spots left when we signed up. So we'll have a whole crew up there. We're excited about that. And then a couple weeks before Treelands, too, we're doing something different in September. You can check it out on our website. There'll be more about this coming, but School of Fishing. This is going to be kind of like a hosted trip, but we basically have booked Treelands Lodge. We got a big house, food's included, lodging's included. You just have to get to Treelands Resort on the Chippewa Flowage. We're going to have 4 of us up there, myself included. Josh will probably be there. Nick will probably be there. Hunter will probably be there. As the guides, and we'll have 7 to 8 folks spots available. There actually will be 7 spots available, and then 1 is going to be given away in a giveaway by the School of Fishing.
Oh, sweet!
It's kind of helping us put this on. They're the ones that reach out to us and we're like, hey, we want to do a muskie school, and we're like, okay. But prime window. I mean, like prime September, weed bite on the lakes. Great river fishing usually that time of year. Right on Moon. And one of the best places in the world to do it, if not the best, right on the Chippewa Flowage.
So cool.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that trip.
So that's going to be sweet. Check that out. We got the dates. So Treelands, the tournament, the Muskie Fly Fishing Tournament is September 26th and 28th. And then September 12th through the 16th. So at least 3 days of fishing and instruction. The Muskie School, we will have that at Treelands as well. 7 spots available. So you can check that out on our website. Give us a shout if you want to sign up. Otherwise, School of Fishing is where you can find more information about that. What about summer? We got PMTT. We're going to do that again. At least the Madison one. Our calendars kind of got busy because you got a trip in August. Gabe's out. Nick's got a guide calendar. Mm-hmm. So we won't be doing the whole trail like we wanted to this year, but we'll do the Madison one. Flies only. Right?
Yes, 100%.
I'm not worried about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might just have to make sure there's no gear rods for me in the boat. No. After last year's beatdown.
We got to stick to our flies, baby. Okay.
I can do that. As long as you talk me through it. Untangle my line for me. Can you hold my line for me? But yeah, we'll do that. I'm in a Muskie League. I finally got myself into the Muskie League here in Madison, which is good because it's fun to fish with those guys, keep a pulse on things.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Customer friend is my fishing partner. Apparently, we're fly fishing that thing only too, which is usually my one night a week to be a gear snob. But no, we'll be trying to see, at least in springtime. I think we'll have a shot. Once summertime rolls around, blades are usually the answer. A few Muskies Inc. events. That's always like pretty common in summer. You guys do that, right?
Yep. Here and there.
Are you doing the annual thing you did with Jake, or the first Wisconsin thing you did with Jake? Wasn't there like a little tournament?
Oh, yeah.
How did that work?
That was kind of like a Muskie League also, a miniature summer tournament. I don't know. We did that last year. It was a lot of fun. Our schedules ended up becoming quite crazy. And then
you're still guiding too, so that probably didn't help.
That was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough to align, and we dropped the ball on registering a couple fish due to technological issues.
That'll take the wind out of your sail real quick.
Yeah, and so finally we just said, I think we're just going to go out and fish. But I would love to do it again.
Yeah. That's how I kind of have, back to what we were talking about for goals and stuff. Like, I had the disappointment of last year was for sure the Madison chain on flies. There was some bright spots for sure. Gabe had one of his nicer fish of the season, but it just, the pattern didn't really come together with flies specifically. Now there was definitely the days where I was like, oh yeah, this. If you go back to what you knew, like how I had started fishing the chain was with gear, and it just wasn't. So I'm doubling down. I'm not giving up on it. I'm kind of like you.
Yeah.
We're with your, it's there. We know it works. We know when it works, but it's just that spring, summer on flies that we got to do something different. So I think more to come on that.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day. Think about what you did the last couple seasons and what you can do differently.
Exactly.
Because we have very similar conditions this summer already. It's looking like as the previous couple years.
And I think we've been talking about it for a few years, but I think we're going to see it again. The lakes are going to be the most consistent because you're not going to be able to find consistent conditions on rivers, and that throws a wrench in things regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you're not going to get fish to bite, but just day in and day out, what's more consistent right now with the low water? And I think that could shape up to be really good fishing on the lakes. It can be.
Yep.
Especially early warm-up.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited. Madison chain is what it is. We'll see how the weeds are in the bloom. But fish populations are still strong and just pressure. It's finding the right windows. I was definitely more of a tried to maximize the amount of time I could spend out there last year and wasn't as tactical with the days that were the right ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be a change that hopefully helps.
Yes.
Might just be another kick in the teeth. You never really know. That's musky fishing, folks.
Yes, sir.
Why we love it. Bunch of masochists. What else happened that we're looking forward to here, Josh? It's kind of the lull. It's kind of the lull before you know the impending storm is coming, too. You kind of have that feeling.
Yeah. I always have to remind myself that we have 9 months of hard casting ahead of us. So you just don't want to go out there and blow your water right out of the gates. You got to take it easy, ease back into it, enjoy some pike fishing, some pre-spawn bass fishing and stuff like that, and just don't go guns a-blazing with your big 12-weight 700 grain.
In April, out of state in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Just take it easy. Yeah, just enjoy the spring.
Are we listening to our own advice, or are we just...
I'm going to listen to my advice. I'm now 40 years old. I'm getting older. I got to stretch while I go.
I have to stretch before
fly
I go fishing.
Yeah. I'm not a spring chicken no mo.
No, you ain't, fella. No, you ain't.
Yep. You got to ease into it.
Yeah.
I mean, last year we were literally catching muskies on New Year's Eve. That's a very long season.
Yeah.
Very,
and then
very
right
long.
into trade show season. That is a tight turnaround.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something. You just ease into it.
Ease into it. That's Josh's advice. I think that's everything today, folks. It's always a pleasure. We talked about the Rendezvous trade show recap. Reminder, send us some feedback. Where should we go next trade show season, next spring, 2025?
Should we get a motorhome and travel the country and visit your community?
A van? Should we bring a van and a boat around the country? Should we have a huge bash, film tour, everything in Madison, multiple rendezvous events? Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. We have an unlimited budget, so we're looking to do some crazy stuff.
Wait.
Dan, I thought you said we had an unlimited budget.
Wait a minute. We have $2 that we made from the Fly Tyers Rendezvous. That's what we get to use on this year's budget.
That's not going to get us very far.
All right. Well, anyway, we appreciate it. Another episode. Talk to you later. You got Dan and Josh.
Thanks, guys.
Peace. Thank you for listening to the Spot Burn Podcast. Coming to you from the dungeon, this podcast is presented by Muskie Fly Fishing Co. We want to thank our awesome sponsors, Cortland Line Company and Stealth Craft Boats. We also want to thank all of you, our listeners, for tuning in, subscribing, sharing, and spreading the good word. If you haven't heard, go check us out at muskiefool.com. Have fun out there on the water, y'all.